Hey, Jules.
Hello, Wache.
Wache. Bonjour. I see that there are some attendees coming in still, so we can wait a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, now all the noise around my house has started as soon as we went live.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. And I have my grandnephew living with me. So he's in the basement right now, and I've told him to be very quiet, but he might pop up, and he always likes to get in the picture. So maybe we'll wait until about 4:04 or 4:05. What do you think, Jules?
Sounds good.
Yeah, cool. I love those earrings. What are they?
Mad Auntie, a Wes. A Wes.
Yeah, I gotta get a pair of those.
Oh yeah, you got to go on our site pretty early. Everything sells out pretty fast. So just go to Mad Auntie and put your order in. They're
Is
very
that
light.
yours?
Huh?
Whose site is it?
Mad Auntie.
Okay. Who owns it though?
I don't know. I guess she's a Mad Auntie.
Oh, nice.
I don't know who that is. Actually, I've just been buying stuff. I always buy her earrings or their earrings. Or,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen it. How's the weather today for you?
It's Vancouver. It's gray. The sun was out earlier, but it's hiding again. But it's warm. It's not cold.
Yeah, we have some warm weather today. It's been kind of cold the last couple of days. And we had some really warm weather last week, but I think now we're in for the cold weather and the snow and stuff. So yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah. I think we had about 40 plus people registered, and I know that people had to go through the Evite link, so there might be people having some technical difficulties. So
Okay.
yeah, waiting for about 4:05.
Sure.
Thanks, Nate. Okay. Oh, I've gotten a message that some people are having difficulty logging on. So I'm getting some text messages on the side. So people might join us as we carry on, and definitely probably be in for the Q&A. I just need to tell you, do you remember Joanna Batur from Taekwondo? Yeah, she sent me a message, and she's remembering Taekwondo days.
Aw. The good old days.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I guess I'll start. Welcome, bonjour, Anine, Tanzi, hello. Minidunebe kwe indishnakas, wawashkiji and dodam, sudbury and Didjaba, Nindawe Magga, Nindog, Nindujaba, Swan Lake, Temiskaming, Timmins, Anishinaabe Métis kwe Ndau. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional territory I'm currently sitting on, but also say a little bit something about territorial acknowledgements. I personally think territorial acknowledgements are a good thing, but I've heard from our community recently that sometimes in the personalization of the land acknowledgements, we're losing sight of the land itself. I want to make sure that I don't do that. Where I currently sit, the stewards of this land are the Chippewas of Georgina Island. I'm Lynn LaValle, and I'm adding to my introduction in my attempt at Anishinaabe and I want to quickly share who my people are and where they come from. I do this intentionally because of the cultural fraud that exists when opportunities are presented for Indigenous people, particularly in the academy, and I occupy such a space. My mom was born in Timmins and her dad was from Swan Lake in Manitoba, and her mom was from Maniwaki. The last names on my mom's side include Godin, McIver, LaRock, Swain or Swan, Lily, Lafon, LaBelle, David, Carpenter, Korchesny, and Chartrand. My dad was born in Timiskaming, and the last names there are Gauthier, Pepin, Richard, Taylor, and McKay. I was born in Sudbury and grew up in Toronto's Regent Park. I'm a professor at Ryerson University, and I'm bringing this film screening to you as part of my role as strategic lead, Indigenous Resurgence in the Faculty of Community Services. I want to say Chimigwech to Dean Lisa Barnoff, who's actually an attendee right now on the call, for the funding to support this event. With no further ado, I would like to introduce the director of KaYaMenTA. Did I pronounce that correct, Jules? Good. Jules Koost. Jules is Cree, born in Moose Factory, and a band member of Attawapiskat First Nations. Jules is not only a director, but a writer, actor, wonderful daughter, and amazing mother to 4 amazing spawn, Asavak, Mohegan, Tepwewin, and Powaikin. Jules completed her master's in documentary media at Ryerson University and was awarded the gold medal for the highest academic achievement. She is currently living in Vancouver, completing her PhD at the University of British Columbia, and her research is focusing on Indigenous documentary. Jules has produced and co-produced many documentaries, including her first documentary, Remembering Inini Moen, a television series ASCII Boys, co-produced with Big Soul Productions. And I must tell you, I watched every episode and would just laugh at the 2 city boys, Asavak and Mohegan, venturing onto the res. 2 other documentaries are Nisotawak, 2 Bodies, 1 Heart, that follows Jules's twins, Tepwewin and Powaikin, when they were 10 years old, on their journey making sense of the world. And a second, Oshki Shikwa, I think I said that wrong, A New Day, where Tepwewin and Powaikin, then 12 years old, cut their hair for the first time. Jules led a project to honor her relative, Shannon Koostashian, who was a young activist who led a youth campaign advocating for safe and comfortable schools in Attawapiskat. You might know of this as Shannon's dream. Shannon passed away before the campaign succeeded, and Jules created the documentary Butterfly Monument honoring Shannon. And if you are part of an academic institution, please ask your library to order Butterfly Monument. Jules directed, wrote, and starred in her narrative film, Oki, oh my gosh, I said it early, Oki.
Oshki, oh my God, now I'm getting all mixed up. Ochi Squacho.
Ochi Squacho, about a 2-spirit kokum or grandmother who's deciding to stay with her grandchildren or follow the spiritual messenger. Jules is an actor, the voice of Layla in the CBC PBS animation series Molly of Denali, and she has written poetry, Unearthing Secrets, Gathering Truths, and is currently writing a novel, Moccasin Souls, all while completing a PhD and being a mom. Wow, Jules, you've been very busy. And I would like to introduce the film. I'm going to read the common paragraphs that you see about the film, but then offer my commentary. KaYaMenTA is a short documentary, 22 minutes, that weaves raw, funny, and honest and intimate interviews of 5 Indigenous sisters, soul sisters, Rena Owen, Michelle Thrush, Raina Morisseau, Sharon Shorty, and Doreen Manuel. And Dr. Anita Tanis also is part of the documentary along with Jules as they delve into the mysteries of menopause. The documentary invites our sisters and viewers to face their own fears about getting older and tackle the taboo around menopause. To humanize these experiences, a personal understanding of menopause is provided through an Indigenous women's lens, one that engages with core themes: sexuality, aging, spirituality, and healing. And when I first watched this documentary, what struck me was the coming together of Indigenous women to talk about menopause and and perimenopause and those challenges. And for myself, I don't have my sisters any longer to have that conversation. I don't have my mother to have that conversation. And I won't spoil anything, but a lot of what you talked about in the film resonated with me. So I think it's important to have these conversations, because a lot of Indigenous women do not have other women to have these conversations with, as well as non-Indigenous women. So we're going to start the film. But I'm going to go to Jules first. And first I'll go through some technical things, and then we'll have Jules say a few words, and then we'll start the film. So as you know, the chat function is turned off, but there is a Q&A, and you can pose questions in the Q&A section as you're watching the film, and I'll monitor that afterwards and pose the questions in the discussion section. If for some reason you have technical issues with watching the film, Luke is actually going to put the URL in the chat section, Luke, because I don't think people.
That's right.
That's right, in the chat section, so all of you can see the cbc.ca URL if for some reason there's a technical issue on your end, and then you can rejoin us into the conversation with Jules afterwards. Jules, did you want to say anything before we start the film?
Wow, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. And I'm excited to speak to this topic. I think I've become the queen of menopause through this film, which is great. I've like, I have people reaching out saying they're going to have menopause parties and gatherings and circles. And I'm like, this is wonderful. So I'm glad that the film has a life of its own. I'm here on the unceded ancestral lands of the Coast Salish peoples. I'm, honored to be here. I am from Northern Ontario. I do miss home. I do miss my community in Toronto. We were so close and it was so much fun. I've known Lynn for a long time. So, but enjoy the film, and I'll see you afterwards. Miigwech.
Hey, miigwech, Jules. Over to Luke.